Oh, got a little notification. Recording the call. Yep, yep.
See, I don't understand when there's two people. It does that blinking freak out thing, and every
Hmm.
time I think it's gonna do it when there's like more people, it never does it.
I wonder why. That's
I,
weird.
yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming to you from the dark recesses of the proverbial Dawn Forge pouch. This is episode 236 of the Shattered Soulstone. Where is that season 19 at? Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at bit.ly/soulstone2019. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, MP3 player, or real man phone. Today is November 10th, 2019, and I am your main man, Deadgreed. Today, I brought like two of my second favorite people coming to you from storyboards and lore. It's oh, who is it? Not Shazam.
Hi, people.
It's
I'm back.
Jen. I thought
Thanks
you were
for
gonna
having me
be
on the
like,
show.
I thought you were gonna be like Jen, but
No,
okay. We did not
it's
rehearse that.
no, we did not rehearse it at all. And I haven't been on the show in a while, so I'm a little
It
like rusty
in
on
my
this.
head you were gonna
Yeah,
do it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm here.
Also, also coming to you from a Riker hat and headphones. It's Shazam.
What's going on?
Ah. Anyway, how you guys doing?
Doing okay. Surviving. Yeah.
Well, we will get into it. How was Shazam's week in gaming?
Um, I started off playing WoW like I always do, since I haven't been, you know, feeling like playing Diablo. And Tuesday came around, and I'm like, I want to try that auto battler. I looked everywhere, like, because there's supposed to be a beta, and I'm like, oh, where's the beta for Hearthstone at? Can't find it anywhere. What do I do? So you just log into Hearthstone, and boom, it's right there, right in the normal Hearthstone. So I tried the auto battler. I think the highest place I got, I think, was like fifth or sixth place. I don't know. You start out at rank 4,000, and I'm like 3,600 or something like that. I only played a couple games. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird. You got a balance between there's like 3 cards or 4 cards to pick. Either pick them or upgrade the cards for like the next turn, or change like what cards or you can pick from, stuff like that. And you got to obviously place them in every turn. They keep popping back up, and eventually you just fill your whole entire row up with the same cards. And you got to either trash some of them and get new ones, because you got to keep getting better and better cards, or people are going to annihilate you eventually. Um, yeah, I started doing that. That kept my attention for about a day, and I don't know, auto battlers and Hearthstone and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. Um, so I'm back to playing WoW for a while, and then what was it? Thursday, I came home from work, and I literally was watching YouTube videos and fell asleep at my computer here, just till like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then played a little PoE yesterday. I know the season. I know that thing's gonna end soon, so I'm not gonna get that involved with that game. Hopefully, Diablo 3 season starts. Hopefully this Friday. So yeah, that's basically about my week. Other than that, I looked at a Tesla and I posted a picture about a Tesla on a Discord, but other than that, that's about it.
Well, Jen, how was your week?
It's been busy, kind of like, okay, here's my season, right? I started the season and I rolled a Barbarian. I'm playing hardcore. And I'm like, all right, good to go. And then a friend of mine wanted to play WoW Classic because I was kind of playing that too, and I was doing some blogs about it. So I played a whole lot of WoW Classic instead. And so the last couple of weeks, maybe, I've been playing a lot of Diablo just to see how far I could go with the Barbarian in like the last couple of like maybe week or so, you know? And so, just in short, what I did was when I finally got up to 70 and could start earning Paragon, I decided I was going to put all of those into things I've never tried before, you know, instead of doing what I usually do. I put everything, Paragon point went into life per hit and life regeneration. And let's see what the other two were. Critical hit damage was the other one, and the last one was maximum fury. And so for a while on the lower difficulties, I was unstoppable. The only thing that was hitting me was ice that could freeze you for a little while and you could get hit, and knockback. Okay. And for a while, I didn't have enough power, like enough strength to actually go through the mobs quick enough in like rifts and things like that, because I didn't put any in there with the Paragon and I didn't have a lot of gear yet. I didn't end up finishing chapter 4, so I never got like a full set this season. So that's kind of where I was at. I was playing with like 4 pieces of the Raycore set, which was the freebie set, and 2 pieces of the oh, what is that other set called? It's I can't remember. It's like it's not really a set. It's the one you get and you think you have a set piece, but it's that other one. It's yeah, I can't remember. It's not like actual set. It's like a set everybody can use. So I was doing that. Didn't have enough strength on anything, and that's it. Yeah, I had 2 pieces of that, and I just couldn't get I couldn't get Kadala to give me anything good, and I couldn't, you know, and it took a while to move up a little bit. So eventually, I finally got a decent barbarian weapon and put a gem in that, an emerald in that, and I still wasn't getting very far. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna go and, you know, kill the key wardens and kill the Ubers. I could only do it on T1 at that point, so I'm like, I'm just gonna do that and see if I can. And I got a ring and had strength and all that, and things got a lot faster. So now the only thing that was stopping me, like I said, was finally, you know, I was getting faster, I was killing monsters faster, and I was still like getting, you know, I'm running out of the ice before I get hit as much as I can, and but if you're playing a barbarian, I'm using the I'm blanking out on the skills. The one where you turn into like the Super Saiyan, you know, with the white hair and all that. Like the ice doesn't hit you as much. Yeah, it doesn't hit you as much. So I had that going on, and finally started like, you know, making a difference, but I was still getting a lot of knockback, and the rifts kept giving me like, you know, creatures with knockback. And finally Kadala gave me that Krem's buff belt that cuts out the knockback, and I'm like, I am unstoppable. I should have done this earlier in the season. You know. But I think I got as far as like T3, I think. And you know, not too bad with like just playing a little bit, but that's pretty much what I've been doing as far as video game stuff lately.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, as far as me, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on PC, so I've been taking down stagecoaches, robbing trains, and just ridiculous Red Dead Redemption. I've been I Jay Wilson my internet, so it's like a little bit better. It's not nowhere near what it's supposed to be, but it is a little better. So I've been on Discord. I've been streaming the Red Dead. So if you see me on there, y'all can come watch me play Red Dead Redemption. And you know, like, yeah, I love that game because like you're gonna go do a mission and you're on the way and you like, you know, you find a lady under a horse. So then you gotta like pry the horse up and get the lady, and then you gotta take her to town. And then while you're taking her to town, there's somebody else and they're trying to rob you. So then, you know, you end up in like this whole long. I like the random events in there. I was driving down I was minding my own business, literally just going down the road, and there's a guy whose horse threw a shoe, and he's trying to put a shoe back on a horse, and I'm walking, I'm riding my horse down there, and I hit the brakes, and I get off my horse, and I go over to help him, and right when I get up to him, the horse spooks and kicks and kills the guy.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I did not kill this guy, so he dies, and his horse takes off running. Well, I mean, he's dead on the ground. Might as well rob him, right? Because, like, what? He don't need his money. He's dead. So, I was robbing the guy who got kicked in the horse by the head, and a witness comes and reports me for armed robbery. So now I gotta hunt the freaking witness down, kill that guy. While I'm burying that guy, another 2 people come up, and I end up having to kill those 2 people. It's just a...
So you've become the serial killer of the town or whatever.
all because a horse kicked a guy in the head.
Yep.
I shot my horse in the head on accident. So that was the thing. I was like literally running from these the bounty hunters, because I broke this guy out of jail, and I killed everybody in town because you have to. Because, all the sheriffs are there because they're mad because you broke him out of town. I broke him out of jail. They were going to hang him, so I busted him out of the jail. And then we're running out of town, and I'm shooting all these people, and I jump on my horse, and, and I'm riding, and I'm turned around backward shooting, and I turn around on it, because, like, I almost ran off this cliff, so I did like a sharp right turn on my horse, and I turned around and was like, bam! And my horse was like, boom! I was like, oh, man. I was like, sorry, Blackie! I didn't mean to shoot you. So I had to use one of my horse revival potions on him. And, yeah, it's just, I love that game. First of all, it's a beautiful game. It's basically Grand Theft Auto on horses. It's got a lot of story to it, which I like. You got like a little gang, and you got like a little gang camp, and you go to your gang. You go there, and you do all these missions, and you work your way through the story. And because I bought the deluxe edition, I got like a better horse. I did shoot and kill my first horse, and I had to carry him. I should have rode him to town, then killed him, but he made me mad, so I killed him, and then I had to carry my saddle to town to get my new horse. I'll tell you that story real quick. It was, I'm running from the law because, I don't know, things happen. Like, I was buffalo hunting, and these dudes shot at me because I was buffalo hunting or whatever, and then so I had to kill them. More people came, I had to kill them. A stagecoach, I robbed a stagecoach, so now I got a stagecoach, and all these people are dead, and so I piled all the bodies in the back of the stagecoach, and I drive the stagecoach to the fence, but then the sheriff see me with a bunch of dead people and a stolen stagecoach, so then I'm running away from the sheriffs, but anyway, I'm running, and I'm fixing to get away, and there's like this little cliff, and it's not even that bad. I mean, this was I wouldn't call it a cliff. It's more like a slight drop off. And I'm riding my horse, and it's not a good horse. It's the little starter horse you got. And I'm riding, just trying to get away from this. I'm shooting behind me, trying to get away. And my horse bucks up in front of this little stupid cliff, throws me off my horse. I hit my head and die. Cost me like $40-something to res. I get my horse back, so I immediately shot that horse. Like, seriously, dude, you just cost me $40. Plus I lost the mission. Yeah, you're dead. I just shot my horse, took the saddle. I should have rode the horse like close to town, then shot him, and then the next time a horse makes me mad and I have to kill him, I'll ride it to town first. Because it took a long time to carry that saddle all the way to town. I was way away from town. But anyway, I've just been playing Red Dead. I was playing Classic, but like I knew Red Dead Redemption was coming out, and my subscription ran out, and I didn't want to pay for 30 days of time, like 1 or 2 days right before Red Dead came out. And hopefully Season 19 will come out soon. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, so I'm like, I'm just into my cowboy riding game. You know, I was in the cavalry, had the horse, and it's cool because I got a cavalry hat. But for some reason, people keep shooting holes in my cavalry hat, which kind of every time I get a new hat, somebody's got to shoot a hole in it. I'm not really sure what that's about, but anyway, like earlier, I literally went to the store. I bought a new hat. I walked out of the door of the store, and a dude shot a hole in my hat. I was like, you know, like if you're at McDonald's, for example, and you drop your drink, you know, they give you a new drink. I was like, man, this dude should give me a new hat, bro. I just paid like $8, you know. And this is like 1898 or whatever it is. That's $8, a lot of bucks back in 1898. But yeah, that's you know, I just been playing Red Dead. It's you can gamble, like, you know, you can play like Texas Hold'em. You can play dominoes in that game. It's I like it a lot. I'm having a good time. And if y'all guys want to watch some ridiculousness, and hey, if y'all want to watch some ridiculous, come on to Discord and check y'all can watch me. I stream it on Discord. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's my weeks in gaming. You know, since we have our special guest Jen here, I was gonna let her go off about lore.
All right, so I'm not going to turn the show into a giant Jen's lore corner, but I will go over a thing I wrote that I posted this morning on my blog, Book of Jen at bookofjen.net. And it's kind of basically I went through the Diablo video that reveals Lillith that you've all seen probably a bunch of times by now, and kind of picked through like the lore of it a little bit. Well, kind of a lot, but I'm not going to read it word for word on the show. But basically, the last show you guys were trying to figure out things like, you know, who are these 3 guys or 4 guys, and is that guy Haradrim, and who's the guy at the end there raising and all that. So I thought, okay, I'll come in and help. And I can't seem to write just a short blog about this stuff. I start going and all this, and it keeps going. So like to figure out all this stuff, I was looking at Diablo Wiki, and I have the Book of Cain and the Book of Tyrael, and I have the Book of Adria. So I like cracked that open. I got 3 books here. I'm flipping through. I'm like, this is what Deckard Cain feels like, you know, with all these books like piled up and sources, and off you go, like in hours of the night and into the morning. So so basically what I think is going on in this video is you've got these 4 guys. 3 of them are there to find gold and treasure. The 4th guy, at some point in the video, says he's just there for knowledge. That's the guy that's like bleeding out and getting helped with his friend, you know, carrying him. Friend, I don't know, but you know, he's trying to drag him along and all that because they need him. He's the only one that can read all the stuff in this place. And as the camera like pans over stuff, you see a couple of shots of the ground with this like intricate design. It's got triangles and circles and all this other stuff. So I was trying to figure out like, okay, that's obviously something. What's that? You know, if you go through the Book of Adria, she's got like the art in there is really cool, and there's a lot of really neat stuff. I've just started looking through it, but she's got a whole section in there talking about how she marked the souls of the evils and the lesser evils, and you get that in Diablo 3 where she says, you know, hey Mom, Leo says, where have you been all these years? Oh, I was marking the souls of the demons, you know, so that kind of fits. And in the back there's like all these designs, so she's got like the one she used for Duriel and the one she used for Baal and all this, and they kind of look like this thing in the ground. So my first thought with this was that's like a summoning thing, or that's something, you know, to trap something like that, you know, as they run past it. Now, those guys are being chased by some kind of demon. I don't know what those demons are. I figure we'll find it when we get into D4, whenever that's released. But, like, at this point in the video, right at the start, you know, they're just running for their lives. Now, before they get to this, you can hear, you know, you get that sort of view to, like, that old church in the beginning. And you can hear some guy talking, and he's... you know, he's talking about, he mentions Akarat and the Eternal Light, and it turns out to be this guy that came here for knowledge. None of these guys seem to have names. I tried looking up to see if I could find out who the voice actors were, and there's nothing. There's nothing out there at all that I could find. I looked on IMDb, nothing. So the guy that came there for knowledge, he says a lot of what he's saying. He's mentioning Akarat. He's talking about the eternal light protects me. Says this over and over as he freaks out through the video. So Akarat, you'll hear NPCs in Diablo 3 mention Akarat. This is like a guy that's important. He's Akarat the Prophet. There's stuff on Diablo Wiki about it, and it's one of the oldest religions in Sanctuary, if not the oldest. It's not the oldest, but it's pretty old. And in the Book of Cain, it says that he was, he was someone who wandered around from the north of Kyrgyzstan and talked to people. He had a vision. Akarat, not Deckard Cain, had a vision about a spectacular flash of light and energy, and he attributed this vision to an angel named Yarius, which apparently, according to Diablo Wiki, means son of light. So Akarat kind of started talking to people about that, going from person to person, and eventually he disappeared into the jungles of Kyrgyzstan, never to be found again. But people were still following the religion that he had started, and they were calling it Zakarum faith, Zakarum religion. You hear that sometimes in Diablo 3. And it was the idea that Zakara is the inner light. And so, Akarat didn't name this religion, but his followers did. So this guy that came here seeking knowledge is he's a follower of the Zakarum faith. That's who he is. Other than that, I don't know. But that's where he's coming from with this. So that's who that guy is. The other three guys are just there for the money. They're looking for gold and treasure and all that kind of stuff. So you get to the part where the guy that seems like he's the leader, older dude, and he's like, get us in this door, read the stuff on the door, that kind of thing. And he starts reading. He says, by 3 they come, by 3 thy way opens. He figures out that he's dripping blood onto the carved thing on the floor, and the blood starts moving towards the center, and that thing starts turning. So he gets 2 of the other guys to come over and slam their down on this thing carved into the ground. They all start bleeding. It opens door. Okay. Hopefully I'm not giving away any spoilers. I'm thinking everybody listening to this show probably seen the video like a bunch of times by now, I mean, I'm hoping, right? So it has to be the blood of the willing, and they get this. They get in the door. These guys don't understand they're enacting a ritual, like the start of a ritual. They don't know it. The religious guy is, kind of bleeding out and dying. He's terrified. The other guys had just been fighting demons. They think the demons are going to get him. They don't know that's what they're starting with this thing to get into the door, but that's what they've done. Okay. So they get in, and now you got this room, and it's got another big carving on the ground with circles and triangles and 3 pillars. Okay. So what's that? That was my first thought when I saw this. Like, what is this exactly? All right. So with that, I think they're in the Temple of the Triune. Like the old Temple of the Triune, which is one of the first religions on Sanctuary. I'm gonna eventually in Lower Corner get into this stuff a little bit more, but this thing was started by the demons who had found Sanctuary but were keeping quiet about it before the Angelus Council came in and all that other stuff. And it was also called the Cult of the Three. So they were bringing in people who were worshiping what they thought were 3 benevolent gods. Okay, so they were told that, Dialon was the spirit of determination. He was represented by the head of a ram. Bala was the spirit of creation, represented by a leaf. Mephis was the spirit of love, represented by a red circle. Really, they were worshiping, instead of Dialon, it was actually Diablo, Lord of Terror. They were worshiping Baal, Lord of Destruction, and Mephis was Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, who they'd redefined as the spirit of love, oddly enough, And the purpose was to corrupt the humans or the Nephilim or whatever they were on Sanctuary, okay? So I think that's where they are when they're in there with the 3, because you had the 3, the 3 gods. You have the 3 pillars. You have by 3 they come, 3 people to to open the door and to be part of this ritual. I think that's where they're at. I think it's like the ruined, bit of the Temple of the Triune. This temple was started by Lucian, who is the son of Mephisto, and eventually Lilith took it over. She's the daughter of Mephisto. So that's getting ahead of things a little bit. Now, when you look at the season 18 that just ended, that was the season of the Triune. You got 3 buffs. They're circles. One of them gives you, it's a Triune of Determination, gives you resource reduction. Triune of Love gives you power. Triune of Creation gives you cooldown. Blizzard was telling us what was going to be about the main theme with that season, and nobody knew.
Mm.
So
Cool.
I thought that was kind of neat. Um, so okay, so skipping ahead a bit in this, you've got the two guys that survived the battle with the demons are yelling at the religious guy to read the stuff and find the gold and all this stuff, and eventually, they get stuck up on the pillars, and this, the guy that they were with that's dead is walking around and beating him up and stuff, and all of a sudden you got this guy that they don't know talking, and he has this magnificent voice. And my first thought when I was seeing this, without ever going into digging into this, was, okay, you've got a guy that's kind of purple. He's got this majestic voice. Is this Zoltan cool? That was kind of my thought. It's not
Mm.
Zoltan cool. But at first I was like, kind of looks like him, kind of sounds like him. I was partway through the video, hadn't dug into this, but it's not Zoltan cool. Okay, that's not who this is at all. It's Rothma. And I'll tell you why I think it's Rothma. I know there is some controversy over whether or not it's Rothma, but I believe this is Rothma, and here's why. Lilith and Inarius, they started Sanctuary. They had a kid. They named him Linarian, which was a combination of Inarius and Lilith's names. Okay, and he is the first Nephilim, and he became the first necromancer later on. So he's real powerful because the first generation of Nephilim were super powerful. So that happened. And of course, there were other angels and demons that all opted out of the Sin War and, made babies. And that's why everybody in Sanctuary is part angel and part demon. And most y'all probably know that if you played through the game a little bit. So eventually, Inarius figures out, hey, this generation of Nephilim, they're powerful. What are we going to do? Because they're powerful enough to, like, if they go one way or the other, they're going to split the balance of this eternal conflict, And he's trying to decide if he should kill them off or if he should spare them. And so Lilith decides she wants them spared. She does not want them killed off. So she kills off all the other angels and demons, basically. And there's more, but as I said, I'll do a lower corner with him later on. But she goes and does that. Inarius finds out what she's done, and he's horrified. And he can't bring himself to kill her, so he banishes her to an abyss. First thing the mysterious voice says before you see him in the video, when the guys are going, what is this? And the religious guy is saying, maybe it's a temple, maybe it's a tomb. You hear from the abyss. It's a gate, and he's trying to get Lilith back from the abyss. Who could know about that except for Rothma? And the other reason Rothma knows about it is because Inarius eventually banished him to the same place. So you'd have at some point, mother and son in the same, nothingness. Perhaps they bonded because Rothma hated his parents, and that's why he changed his name to Rothma. There's a long story of lore with that there, but that's kind of the gist of it, So that's him, and he's bringing back Lilith, who he's called, mother of creation, and you can hear like the religious guy. He finally gets kind of mesmerized by Rothma and starts speaking the ritual that will bring back Lilith as he sort of floats up to the pillar. And he gets all these visions in between and stuff. And it's flashing in the video really quick. If you don't stop the video at the right time, you miss it towards the end. Like he's got Lilith staring at him, and he's got a vision of Inarius all chained down in hell, because that's what happened to Inarius after the Sin War, basically. And so here's Rothma. And when Lilith finally comes out of the, blood portal, for lack of a better word, Rothma calls her Blessed Mother. Okay? That's literally his mom. So who else could possibly be saying this about her? I've heard people say, oh, it's just a cultist from the Temple of the Triune, but that's been destroyed. There's little things popping up with Triune throughout, but not like this. So, that's got to be Rothma, and that's why I think it's him. Now, the other reason is because Rothma was the first necromancer. What do necromancers do? They restore the balance. What happens with Diablo 4 is it takes place after the Reaper of Souls expand. And after all that happened, you kill off Malthael and everything. Everything on Sanctuary is in ruins. It's bad. It's really bad there, and it's not being fixed. So Rothma's bringing back Lilith. Now, this sounds like it wouldn't restore the balance because Lilith's a demon and all this stuff. She's killed angels and demons before, all that stuff. But she's also got a history of protecting the Nephilim. That was her goal, was to stop Anarius from killing off the Nephilim at first and stop the other angels and demons from going, oh, hey, Anarius, great idea, I'll do it too, that kind of thing. So I think he's bringing her back to restore the balance to protect the Nephilim, and maybe, just maybe, Lilith isn't the big bad after all.
See, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it last show, because it didn't make any sense that she would be the bad guy because she's the creator. She's the creator and the protector of Nephilim.
Right.
So,
but she's also done some bad things, so...
Yeah, no, I'm not saying she's the best person ever, but...
No, but she would have... she's got a history of protecting the Nephilim. Rathma is the first one. He's still there. He's still super powerful. He retained his powers. And, what are you going to do if you're a necromancer and you believe that you're there to restore the balance? Who could help you more than Lilith, who just so happens to be his mom?
Yeah, and there's some weird things going on with Heaven and Imperius, so...
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But this was I just wrote a thing about that video specifically and kind of pulled in a little bit about, like, the Triune and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, great.
Yeah, and I'm working on a series with Jen's Lore Corner about, like, the oldest lore in Sanctuary, and so I'll lead up to a little bit more about how Sanctuary got there and all this stuff. But the most recent one I did is about the Primevals and Lesser Evils, and that one's up now. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic episode, by the way.
Thank you.
And which you guys can get at jenslorecorner.com.
Nope. bookofjen.net.
.net.
Yeah,
I always do that.
It's different. Yeah, the reason it's different from the name of the podcast is because all of my stuff is on my blog.
Yeah.
And when I started this blog, I was intending to just do a Diablo blog, but I've added a lot of stuff there. Oh, you're hearing me now?
I got you.
Okay. So I'll just repeat that. Yeah, weird little glitches. The reason that the website is Book of Jen, but the Lore Corner is Jen's Lore Corner, and it's on bookofjen.net, is because when I started this blog, I was going to just focus on the Diablo stuff, and I eventually grew it into everything else I do because it just made sense to put it all in one place. When I started Jen's Lore Corner, I started it on Shattered Soulstone a while back, up through episode 10. So everything before episode 10 you may have heard before if you've been listening to this show forever. Everything from 11 on is new content that's only on my site and my hosting site. Basically, I didn't stick it on iTunes or anything because I just don't need all that, So, that means, Jen's Lore Corner is on bookofjen.net, not Jen's Lore Corner whatever. Because of that, I have a second podcast on there that has nothing to do with gaming most of the time, and it's just me reading stuff I wrote. But for that one, I mean, it's all there. And, and I'll be, I do an episode about one a month because it takes a really long time to, go be like Deckard Cain and stack all the books up and read all the stuff and get it all together.
No, I enjoy it. It's a good show. So,
thank you.
Anyway, Shazam, you got any thoughts on the lore, blah blah blah, on that?
Yeah, you're the second person I've heard that said that was Rathma. By the way, Bloodshed.
Who was the first one? Bloodshed. Okay,
yep.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I watched his video the other day. He basically talked about the same thing.
Bloodshed's deep into the lore too. He's he's got a lot of lore stuff on his podcast. So two people that I know that are deep into lore both think that that's Rathma. So
it's gotta be.
That's what I thought too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I avoided everybody's take on this because I didn't want to accidentally be influenced, as I was writing it. So I'm gonna go look through everybody's stuff probably sometime after they get off the show today. But
I mean, I was thinking the guy who's seeking knowledge was a Haradrim just because he's got the scrolls, he's got the bag, But I mean, Deckard Cain was the last Haradrim, so
he was the last of the first Haradrim. But Tyrael brought in, if you read,
yeah, he did actually.
Yeah, there was a book in between Diablo and Reaper Souls, blanking out on it. We had the guy on the show. Yeah, it's that one, and there was that one, and then there was one after that. I should have looked this up.
Now
that that one is Tyrael basically getting all of the powerful people who weren't, he basically makes the second Haradrim out of, people that were known characters in previous and games and comics to get the Black Soulstone out of the high heavens where it's corrupting everything and put it somewhere where no one will find it. Well, we know Malthael found it, but yeah, I kind of think of that one as like, Tyrael getting the Avengers back together and, saving the planet kind of thing. In short, they're the second group of Haradrim. So when you hear Tyrael in town in Act 5 talking to Lorith Nath, I think that's his name, about they'll mention the Haradrim, and we haven't heard from the Haradrim or something like that, and that's what they're talking about is that group, because Lorith Nath was sort of part of it. Yeah. So anyway,
I was gonna say, now that you say that, Deckard Cain dies, and of course Vanilla. Wow. Gee, I've been playing WoW too much. He dies in Vanilla Diablo 3, right? In Act 1. He dies. And in Reaper of Souls, they take a group of Haradrim down there to where the Black Soulstone is.
Right.
And then that's when the Angel of Death comes down there and kills everybody and takes the Black Soulstone.
Right.
So that does make sense. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that it's possible that guy is a Haradrim. Could be.
I don't know, though, because he wasn't very powerful, and that was kind of the thing. The group that Tyrael put together was like an elite force going in, specifically.
Yeah, but at the beginning of Diablo 3, the Nephilim were not powerful.
Right.
Because, it had been decades, and it had been a long time since, like, Diablo 2 when we had a lot of power, and generations have gone by, and nobody knew about the powers. And that's why Zoltan Kulle was teaching us about the powers in Diablo 3, so we'll become more powerful and defeat the Reaper of Souls, Malthael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and it's been decades again, Diablo 4, it's been decades again, and, maybe, we don't know about our powers anymore. Maybe we've lost that knowledge. And I think the reason why we don't know the 3 people or the 4 people is because those are new characters, and we probably won't know them until Diablo 4 comes, because those are obviously D4 characters, and they said decades. I don't know how many decades.
That we don't know either, but
40 years, 50 years, who knows?
I don't know that we're going to see those characters, because first of all, they're all dead. The guys that ran in,
that's true.
They're all dead. How are we going to see these characters? We might see like an intro talking about who they were or something, or maybe they'll be mentioned by NPCs, but they're all dead. I think part of it was, this is the storyline to, get Lillith back into Sanctuary. So I think that's more important. I do think, though, that the Barbarian looking character was like kind of to show you how the character would look in the game if you played a Barbarian, the big dude. So, I think there's that. But I also think, I don't think this guy's a Haradrim, because I think he's very clearly a religious guy following Zakarum. He's constantly praying to the light and calling on Akarat. He could be interested in knowledge anyway, But the thing that I found really interesting is, he could read that stuff, right? Where did he learn, Where did he learn that,
That was another reason why I was thinking, because, all Haradrim, they only want knowledge, they don't care about treasure.
Right, but they're not necessarily religious.
Yeah, true. I don't know. It just, to me, it was, it's all speculation right now anyway.
Right.
But.
Well, I think, I'm trying to remember, I got to dig into this a little bit. It's possible, from what I skimmed through this morning while I was tired, that it's possible that the Zakarum faith eventually got, corrupted or something. So maybe they'd learned how to read that stuff, Yeah. Or maybe he's just the only one in the group that's literate, and it would be common for others to read it if they could read. I don't know. I don't think it's a Haradrim, though.
Okay. Well, either way. All right. Well, anyway, that's fantastic. I like lore. I don't know. Insert excuse here. I don't hardly ever go after it for some reason. I love when when you get into it. So I do like that. I do like that's the reason why I like the podcast so much, and of course we get something new like this, and everybody's interested, right? Like, oh, who's that? Who's this guy? What the heck is that? So that's cool.
Suddenly everybody wants to know the lore again. Yeah.
Well,
that's kind of why I put it together, because I don't think everybody's got the time or the interest in digging it all up individually. And it's really easy. Like one of the things I've noticed just playing, Diablo and looking at the chat once in a while, if I'm playing for like 20 minutes or an hour and I'm not going to like get in the Discord and be like, bye guys, you know what I mean? So I'm just like playing. And people are talking about the lore of the game before this video came out, and they don't know the basic stuff. Like, they don't really know who Anarius and Lilith were. They don't know she's the daughter of Mephisto. They don't know like I just did one of the Primevals and Lesser Evils. They don't know how that all connects. Some of these people are probably young enough where they never played a Diablo game previous to Diablo 3. And they don't know about, like, the older books, like the Sin War that Richard Knack wrote, Interestingly, though, Richard Knack, when this video came up, he asked if, he tweeted out, someone said that's Rathma, is that so? My Twitter account is private because of lots of reasons. And so my husband said, tweeted to Richard Knack and said, yeah, Jen thinks it is. And I kind of said about why, more if it's in the blog. But Richard Knack wrote the Sin War. He created the character of Rathma. So it's interesting to see him ask, is that, because that's his character.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of his characters. Yeah. I thought that was neat.
I just wish they'd put them books on Audible.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Yeah, they got the
order. The order's on there. Yeah.
They have two other ones on there too, but they do not have the Sin War.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. It's hard to get copies of the Sin War too. It really is. I mean, those came out a while ago, but I've only seen them in paperback. I don't know if they ever existed other than that. I have no idea, like, if it's a issue with whoever published them originally, or if Blizzard is like retconning it and not wanting those out. I have no idea. It is hard to get copies of those. So I don't think those are going to end up on Audible because there seems to be something holding that back. Like whoever owns something with it, maybe the publisher. I don't know.
Well, anyway, we got us an email. Woo! So anyway, Jarvis wrote us an email. He's got some questions. He says, "Hi guys, question: was Wyatt Chang around for this year's BlizzCon? I did not have the virtual ticket, so it's pretty easy to miss things, but I did not see any mention of him or any of the free videos that came out during BlizzCon. And what about Brandy, aka Neverlistus? Well, to tell you, Wyatt Chang is, I think he is the senior developer for Immortal. He's on the mobile team.
He's on the mobile team, that's for sure. I talked to him at last year's BlizzCon. I mean, he's definitely moved to the mobile team then. I did not go. I've seen people like ask if I went to BlizzCon this year. No, I did not. I was not there. I did not get a virtual ticket. So I can't tell you from in person who was there or who wasn't. But I have seen people post photos of like people going out and eat together, and I swear I saw Wyatt Chang in at least one of those.
He was there. The reason why he did the announcement last year is because it was a mobile thing, and he was announcing the Immortal, which is the game he's the head developer for. I don't exactly know what his title is, but anyway, he works on that team, and he's pretty high up there. And it wouldn't make sense for him to come out and announce a game that he's not working on. So,
right.
As far as Brandy goes, she was the female voice of the panels, like before the panels started. So that's cool. She did that. He went on to say, I would have thought that Blizzard would have gotten Wyatt to honor the announcements for D4. We just talked about that. Sorry. Woohoo. Blah, blah, blah. He writes, like most Diablo fans, I'm very pleased with the D4 announcements, but I do remember the D3 YouTube video from January 21st, 2010, which, do you guys remember that? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The Diablo
D3
3 YouTube video that they put out January 21st, 2010, which would have been way before the announcement. Because I think didn't come out in 2012.
Came out
Diablo 3.
in I think it did in 2012 because I know Soulstone started before it came out, like before the betas. So we spent a lot of time about playing Diablo and Diablo 2 and stuff like that back then. But I'm pretty sure it's 2012 that it was like the beta's coming out and launching.
Anyway, it was like basically an announcement video for D3. And he's basically just saying that the D3 video that came out and how it ended up it's it's pretty, you know, it's a lot different than what actually. Anyway,
Yeah.
He said, I certainly hope that D4 is amazing and that it's the best version of Diablo so far, but I won't pre-purchase. I won't be pre-purchasing orders anymore for Blizzard games. I have a wait and see attitude now. I know personally myself, I'm very excited. I watched. I mean, of course, I had the virtual ticket, so I watched all the panels, and I watched a lot of the streams, and I actually think that there was more interesting things going on in the streams because they had developers in the streams, and you actually got to see gameplay. I know a lot of people were complaining about like talent tree structure, this, that, the other, but this is a very early. I mean, this ain't even alpha. It's a demo, so all that stuff can be placeholders. We talked about it last show. Anyway, I'm quite happy with how the game looks. I like the art. I like the story is, like we were just going over some of the lore. The story is looking like it's awesome. I'm not upset about the open world at all. I think it'll be cool to be riding around on a horse. I mean, we all know I was in the cavalry, and I'm a big fan of riding around on horses and shooting people in the face. So, it's going to be fun to ride around on my horse and explore dungeons, and it looks like a really cool game to me. I don't know if y'all have any if y'all want to get into any of that before I go on with the email.
I think with that, he's got a point. Things can change between the release of the video and when the game comes out. This tends to happen because stuff's not quite done yet, But the video looked really finished. Like, I mean, that had a lot of details in it. And I've seen people on Twitter that were involved in creating that video tweeting out, "Hey, I did this part, I did that part." I mean, everybody's super excited. So I kind of think there's more finished than what we're able to see right now. I don't think the game is done, but I think there's probably more iterations of stuff than what we know about as far as that. What was your other question? Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. He was going on to say that he said, has there been any mention on how much the game will cost? The going rate these days is at least $60 for the base game. Yeah, I mean, I know they were talking about monetization in one of the panels, and I know if you didn't have the ticket, you probably didn't see that. But they said they were going to release the game, and you'll buy the game, and then they'll release an expansion, and you'll buy the expansion, and then possibly another expansion, and you'll buy that. And that's how they're going to monetize the game, kind of like D3 is monetized.
Or kind of like World of Warcraft.
Well, no, World of Warcraft.
Where you bought the first thing and then you got, with that minus the subscription. But what I'm saying is, like, here's an expansion, here's another expansion. We only got one expansion with Diablo 3. But, like, Warcraft has a whole bunch. Maybe they're going that route? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean,
like
initially D3 was slated to have two expansions, but we ended up getting all the stuff in Reaper of Souls. The Kanai's Cube, all that stuff was slated for the next expansion. But it's just, I like that because, like, I don't want to have to buy a power, like, oh, you got to buy 50 gems in order to play more. I don't want anything like that, and I don't want any like you have to
Loot
pay $15
boxes.
a month. Yeah, I don't want loot
Yeah.
boxes. I don't want to pay $15 a month. I love that my Diablo, I can just play it, and if I'm excited about Red Dead Redemption or Path of Exiles or any other game, I can just go play it, and I don't have to feel bad that I'm paying $30 a month or whatever the price is, and I'm not playing the game I'm paying for. Uh, I like that model. Yeah, 60 probably $60 for the base game, and probably 70 or 80 for a deluxe edition. You know, you're going to get more Murgle snot or whatever it is they're going to give us. Uh, so, I mean, they didn't actually say any of that. They just said that they were going to do the base game and then some expansions, and that's how they were going to monetize. And they would not, and there was going to be microtransactions, but they would not sell power. So, what that means to
Cosmetics.
me, probably transmog stuff,
Hmm.
things like that, would probably be sold. And I hope not stash space, because anyway, I don't want to get into that. But anyway, he was saying he's asked if they published any hardware requirements. Nah, they didn't talk about any of that, because this is a game that is far, far from done. They said that this is not going to be out anytime soon, not even anytime Blizzard soon. So that means, I don't know, 2021.
We do know the specs of the BlizzCon computers though.
Oh, there is that.
It was
I
a, it
did.
was
You
an
can
M
go over that.
it was an MSI board with a 9900K Intel i9 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a RTX 2080 non-super. Um, that's basically all the specs you guys really need to know on the BlizzCon machines. That's the ones that ran, mostly everything other than like Hearthstone and stuff. All the Hearthstone stuff was pretty much cheap machines to do that. But yeah, everything else ran basically 9900Ks, 2080s, and 16 gigs of RAM.
And again, that's just a demo. Um, so I'm sure the actual game will probably, the requirements will probably be higher. I mean, I don't really. He was asking if it'll run on Windows 7. Again, I have no
No
clue.
idea. Yeah. Now here's the
Yeah.
thing I'm worried about. I play on a Mac, right?
Oh, we
And
did
some of
talk about that.
Blizzard's,
Yeah.
yeah, some of Blizzard's games don't run on Mac. Like Overwatch ain't gonna get on a Mac. Okay, so that was the first one that came out where it was like brand new game from Blizzard doesn't have Mac compatibility. So I'm wondering. I know they said that this D4 was going to be on PC and on some of the consoles, right? Didn't say Mac specifically, but some people say PC and they assume Mac as well. But with Blizzard now, I'm not sure. You know?
Yeah. I would hope so. I mean, this is a big PC title. I know that they're going to release on consoles also, but this is a big PC. And when I say big PC, I mean computer. I don't mean Windows computer.
See, yeah, see, a lot of people use it generically, like a computer
Yeah.
instead of a console kind of concept.
Yeah. And I would hope that it's going to have, because, oh my God. Like, how bad would it be to come out and just, you're just jonesing to want to play D4, and then it doesn't. There's no Mac support. Jeez,
Right,
that would
right.
not be good. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's not the I hope that is not the case.
I mean, I
Oh
guess we'll know, like, if a beta rolls out and I get one, I'm going to assume it plays on a Mac, But other than that, I don't know.
yeah. He also asked about an offline mode. No offline mode. I don't believe they'll ever have an offline mode anymore.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Me and Shazam talked about it last show. I'll let
Yep.
Shazam touch on it if he wants, real quick.
No, I think I said enough last show.
Yeah, it just look. They have it because they don't want people cheating. Not that you want to cheat, but it just keeps people from cheating. And And there's some advantages to having it. We talked about it last show. I want to beat it to death. And then he asked, has there been any mention of that? Yeah, they talked about it, and probably not going to happen. No, not at all. Then he says, he just says, thanks for the podcast. It's great that you and Shazam are keeping it going. Take care, Jairus. Well, hey, Jairus, thanks for the email. If it sounded weird, it's because when I copied and pasted your email into the show notes, it did like this weird funky thing where it put some extra spaces into the middle of sentences, so it was like a little hard to read. And I could have went back and spaced back and deleted all the empty spaces, but that would have took time, and that's not something I wanted to do. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate you writing us an email. Great questions. If you have any more, throw us an email. And if anybody has any more, they can email us at show. What the hell is it?
Show at shatteredsoulstone.com.
That one. Show at shatteredsoulstone.com. Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about I want to get into the where is season 19? There has been no mentions of season 19. We wouldn't have the information that we know right now if it wasn't for a couple of the streamers ran into some of the devs, and then they found out that at BlizzCon they had a D3 demo. Of course, no one was playing it because everybody was playing D4. We did talk about that last show again. I'm kind of recapping a little bit. But we heard that there is, or we know that they reworked the Crusader, they reworked the Monk stuff, they nerfed the Whirlwind, the outrageously insane powerful Whirlwind Barbed by a smidge, 7 Paragon or 7 Greater Rift levels lower, which is fine. It's still going to be super powerful. So that happened. But I also heard a rumor that there was some quality of life changes. And I don't know what that means. The last quality changes we got was like, the puzzle ring ancient gives you a better layer of the greed, which I like because, all things greed, right? That was, and, they upgraded our closet, gave us some more space in the closet. So, I don't know, because we don't have the patch notes yet, and we also do not know when the start of season 19 is going to be, which I find weird because normally by the last season close, we know when the next season is going to go. I think it's because I think it's a combination of quality of life changes taking longer than they thought, and everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off on the D4 news, the announcements, and everybody's doing interviews and blogs. And if you look on Diablo Fans, there's been a lot of write-up about Diablo 4, so you can read all that stuff. So they're really busy with news right now, and I think that someone just hasn't hit the button. And I know Shazam was thinking, or he said earlier that maybe Friday, which is the what date is Friday, brother?
15th.
Yeah, the 15th. So I know you were saying maybe the 15th, but I highly doubt the 15th because we don't have the show notes yet, and usually they want to give you time because people take days off for the start of the season.
They plan ahead to do that. Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
And I mean, the patch could come Tuesday, but we haven't even heard anything about it. So I doubt that we get the patch Tuesday because, again, we don't know. We don't have the notes. I don't know. Y'all guys, I'll let Jen. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, if they don't do it Friday, like saying, you're going to run into Thanksgiving pretty quick. Nobody wants to launch a new season on Thanksgiving where people are, fighting with family to be able to play it, and all the devs, everybody, and customer service is gone. If something goes wrong, they're not going to do it then. So if they don't do it, the 22nd or whatever, right before Thanksgiving or during when people are traveling and stuff. When is that going to be? I mean, is it going to be December? Are we going to get it the first week of December? You go too far, you're into like Christmas, you know? There's a lot
I,
of other holidays in December. I'm like, I don't know when this is going to go.
I would
Unless they do it on
say
Friday, like Shazam was saying.
I would say the 15th, the 22nd, or the 6th. And as much as I hate to say it, I almost think most likely the 6th. Although the 29th, I don't know. It's such a right because like, man, if they do, I mean, here lately they have been closing the season on Sunday and opening the season the next Friday. But we've always had the patch notes. We've always had the
Right. Something
announcement.
saying, here's what the new theme's going to be. Here's the sets. Yeah, that kind of thing. We do get that. But I don't know. I mean, the timing of this is going to be difficult because I think they're going to like run into the holidays. And I know like, okay, United States celebrates Thanksgiving in November, Canada does it in October. That's not necessarily a thing, but December has so many holidays worldwide. You're going to run into somebody's overlap here, and it just seems like I could see having a season that runs through those holidays, but not that starts on one. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. So, what are your thoughts, brother?
I'm going to say they're going to drop the notes tomorrow and tell us that it's all going to start Friday.
I
Just
hope you're
smashing them
right.
together.
I hope you're right.
I don't know. It's such in the air. I'm so back and forth on it because, again, people take days off. People plan. People do this. If they put the show notes out tomorrow and the season starts Friday, this will be the fastest starting season ever. Because we always know like weeks in advance.
I know some people have to take like have to tell like a month in advance or a couple weeks in advance to take vacation days and shit. I could just walk into work that day and be like, I'm leaving at noon. So there's that.
Yeah, it makes things easier. See, I work freelance. I can do whatever I want, but I
Yeah,
don't get no sick days.
I couldn't take a day off if I knew that the season was going to start next year in November. November and December is a no go for Greed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see why.
yeah, it's a no. Right now we are running like dead horses. It's crazy. Uh, I'm scheduled for 40 hours, and I work 70.75 or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, which is I know people work more than 70, but I mean that was a long week,
I
and
bet.
there was like one night. It was my day off, and it was 8 o'clock at night, and this guy, anyway, he made me mad because, like, I did 5 streets, came back, and he was in the exact same spot. And I don't mind helping a person, but I'm not here to do your job for you. And I'm not here to hold your hand. And he was complaining that we were in a bad neighborhood, which we were. We were in the ghetto. It's the worst part of Oklahoma City. Yeah, I get that. There's dogs everywhere. It's dark. I understand that. But you know what? I was in the same neighborhood with the same dogs and the same people. So it's not like I was taking mail and driving it up to a really nice proportion of town and leaving him the junk stuff. I was doing the same thing he was doing. So to me, just get out of your truck and deliver it because it's not going to deliver itself. Anyway, that's a long. It's
Yeah.
anyway. It was a long week, and I mean, some nights, some days, I'm supposed to get up at 4, and some days I did not get home until like 8:30 or 9. So, you know, to not be scheduled and have to be like it's. As a matter of fact, oh, I think I put it in there. As a matter of fact, I've been working so long lately. I went and bought me a headlamp because
Wow.
Thursday I was walking not on the sidewalk, but I was walking on the curb, and I was tilting my mail like when cars drove by, so I could use the car's headlights so I could read the addresses. So I was like, man, I need like
wow. That's difficult.
so and you're out there and it's dark and it was pouring down rain and I want to go home, and it's like I can't go home until this is finished, and then you can't see. And not only can you not see where you're walking, but like you can't see the house numbers, you can't see your letters. It's just I don't even know why I got into this. Anyway, it was a long week, and yeah, I don't know why I got into that.
You were talking about we were talking about people taking a day off for a new season.
Oh yeah,
why you
so,
couldn't.
anyway,
that's where it went.
I
yeah.
can't take days off. I can't take days off, so it is what it is. What's gonna happen is I'll come back and everybody be like way leveled up, and I'll be like, hey guys, what's up? We could go over if y'all guys want to, or we could go over the how to start a new season if y'all want to.
You're probably gonna have to go over it again whenever it finally shows up, though. Too,
Yeah, but it could be Friday too. You know what I'm saying?
Could be Friday. That's true. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get the greed handy dandy notes on how to start a new season.
Since we didn't do it last season.
No, we did not do it last season, and because we forgot.
I even hinted at it, and you were like, "What?" And you beat around the bush for like 10 minutes. You're like, "Well, the show's over now."
Oh, you know what? Where is my notes? It's been that long, brother. I used to have the handy dandy notes right here. Oh man. Well, we might have to just freelance it. Oh Jesus. Yeah,
best.
we're gonna have to freelance it. Yep, no. Jesus. This is not the right notebook. Okay, anyway. Greed, I don't know. I don't have a So anyway, do not do the challenge rift. Don't do any more challenge rifts from now till the season, I guess. So basically what you want to do is you want to start when the season goes live. You want to make your character. You want to get into the game. You want to immediately exit the game. I know that sounds weird, but that's what you want to do. Trust me. Then you want to change the game mode down there to the challenge rift, and you want to do whatever the challenge rift is. You want to complete that. You can do that with friends. You can do it up to 4 people in a party, and that might help. There's been a couple seasons where it was super easy. There's been a couple seasons where it wasn't super easy. I think season 18, if I remember right, or was it 17, Shazam, that it was just like we were punching each other in the face about that.
I think I was 17.
I think it was 17 as well. I remember I couldn't do it. I kept trying. I needed some help, and just
Oh yeah, it was hard. But anyway, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the challenge is going to be. So anyway, just complete the challenge rift with friends, without however you want to do it, and then fire the game up again. Get in there, and first thing I normally do is I open my challenge rift bag, get my mats, all that stuff squared away, and then depending on what class you're going to play, is depending on how you're going to utilize your challenge rift bag mats. You're going to get some death breath, you're going to get some gold, you're going to get some bounty mats, which is going to allow you to do a few things. You can take you can buy some stuff from Kadala, you can those kind of things like bracers, those kind of things, depending on what character you are. I know I'm rolling a Barbarian for season 19, so I am going to try to get bracers with mine. Just what I want to try. There's 2 good bracers with 2 good modifiers. So you get you a modifier. The next thing I do after I get that stuff squared away is I either steal the weapon from my Templar or my follower, depending on what class. Of course, I'm going to play Barbarian, so I'm going to take the Templar's weapon. Then I hire him if I'm not in a group. And I go and kill a boss who is also a bounty. The best one is Open Cool because it's very, you can just get there. Act 2, you go right to the boss, you kill him. He drops a lot of yellows out of that chest, which is why you're doing that, so you can kind of get some start off gear. If I don't kill Zoltan Cool, try to get Magna, another one that's real easy to get to. If not, I'll restart the game. Right after that, I usually go to like maybe Halls of Agony 2 and just kill some zombies, level up a little bit. I try to go get the Canias Cube sometime in this area just because, like, go ahead and get it out the way. Usually get a few levels getting the cube because it's like a long run and, you don't have movement speed, all that stuff. So get that going. I try to level to like around 11 is when you can get the rings and the necklace, and you want the rings and necklace of the Wanderer. So I usually like just start off Act 1, then I go to, just go to the guy whose name is the Fence. In Act 1 it's way up there in the corner. Act 2 it's down. Anyway, you know where the Fence guys are at. Just go check those people out for the necklaces and the rings. It makes a big difference. As soon as that goes, as soon as that is over, I usually do a couple of different things depending on if I'm in a group or if I'm solo. If I'm solo, I try to chain kill stuff like Halls of Agony, or I'll go to the Fields of Misery and try to do those chain kills. If not, we just do rifts. I actually kind of like rifts when I'm leveling because you get a lot of, mats. You get a lot of, you start stacking your stuff up. I also, around this time, I also level up like my enchantress, my blacksmith, and my jewel crafter dude. Get that out of the way. With this season, the season theme is the eternal conflict, and the seasonal buff is the pandemonium buff. And I don't know if you guys know, but basically, when you're always going to be getting the bonus kills, so you want to stack those up. And each kill you get a percentage of movement speed and overall power. Plus, when you hit certain marks, like when you get to 15, you spawn these giant tornadoes. They're awesome. They kill everything. Anyway, in my opinion, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the first 3 buffs and reset my buff, which I'll chain kill stuff until I get the 3rd buff, and then I'll step back for just a second. It only takes 5 seconds to lose that buff, so it's not like you're causing yourself major time loss. So as soon as the 3 buffs kill everything, kind of clear the screen, I'll wait. I'll let the buff expire, and then I'll do it again. And I'll just rotate through the first 3 buffs, because it's like 15, 50, and 75 kills, if I remember right. It's not hard to get. And the reason why is because those buffs are super powerful, and it's going to allow me to pick the difficulty way up. A lot of people try to roll 2-handed weapons, like maybe an axe, and then get like a level 70 yellow axe and try to get level reduced requirement. But with this seasonal buff, I think you can turn it way up. I'm gonna try to maybe get into the torments while I'm leveling. Usually we do like master, maybe expert if we get some weapons. If somebody gets some real good stuff, we'll go to torment 1. But I think I'm gonna try torment 2, torment 3 maybe, and just see how it goes, because this seasonal buff is powerful. Did I miss anything, Shazam?
No, not really. Other than, like, if you're a demon hunter, you just roll one-handed daggers, make it a legendary, and then throw it in a cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, reduced level requirements at 40?
Yeah. You can get it as low as level 40, yeah.
35 if it's an ancient weapon, but you'd have to roll legendary at that point.
Yeah. One
Uh,
thing it just reminded me of, if you make let's say you make a two-handed axe and you're trying to get that level reduced, down to 40, you want a weapon that has life on hit and also like a impair movement, like an impair control movement effect on the weapon, because it makes it much easier to roll the lower requirement. So just check
yeah.
that out. There's a lot of videos on how to do that on YouTube. If y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, just grab a video. Bloodshed has a good video, a start video on how to do that. Anyway, yeah, just get in there and smash. Of course, if you play with 4 people, you're gonna get a lot more experience and a lot more drops. So
Yeah.
get you a group if that's what you want to do. If you want to play solo, that's cool too. But
I usually play
yeah,
solo
that's
because I'm
and
doing hardcore.
I have this long list
Hmm.
somewhere, and I'll have to find it, and I'll probably find it 5 seconds after the show. But I think I covered it. You got anything to add, Jen?
Not really. I mean, a little. Like I never end up like getting up to the highest difficulty levels or anything like that. But what I do is I've been playing hardcore for a while again. I'm kind of stuck on that. I think I just like it better, you know. So I usually play solo because less chance of having somebody else's action screw you up when you're playing hardcore. So I do that. I will try the challenge rift. If I can't do it, then I'll just blow it off, basically, I tend to do a whole round of bounties first because they're real easy to do when you're lower level because the monsters aren't too high and you can get the mats from that, as well. And if you do all of the bounties, like a whole round of them, you're actually completing stuff from chapter 3, in addition to leveling. So I kind of do that. I have been playing a barbarian for a while. I'm probably going to keep doing that. So, I'm looking for that kind of stuff. But other than that, I mean, I do some of what you've explained. I mean, other than I don't do the group stuff anymore. I haven't taken the weapon from the Templar because I want to bring him with and have him live long enough to heal me when I screw up at earlier levels, you know? So I do that. And then that's about it. I think I kind of I like that they changed it so you can look ahead and see what the objectives are in upcoming chapters and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's cool.
Because before that, you're looking it up on a website, you're going back and forth. With this, at least you could say, okay, well, I can't do that level rift right now. What can I do that's ahead of me? And you can go work on leveling up some, crafter or something like that. So I just sort of do that. I don't worry too much about like what set pieces I'm looking for. I'm not gonna stick a bunch of things in the cube, and I mean I'll stick stuff in the cube if I've got it and I've got the skills for it that seem useful. But I'm not gonna be doing all that. I'm not gonna be trying to change set pieces until I get further along, you know. But that's just what I do. Now I don't get real far. Y'all get up to T13 and all that. I don't get that far. I get to last season I got to maybe T3 because I didn't put a lot of effort in. But that kind of thing. It depends. I don't think anyone else is playing the way I do, but that's okay. You know, however it works for you.
Hey, here's a note. Um, they put the PTR out for season 19, and there was this weird thing going on. Uh, the Pandemonium buff, and I want to say it's 300 kills, and I could get the numbers. I don't know. There's a lot of these things. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 300, but don't exactly quote me on that. It's what. Anyway, what happens is there's this giant ring of fire, and it looks like when you're fighting Diablo, how he shoots that, and there's all these fireballs that come out from you. Um, that will kill you. So
It's one of the buffs, but it'll kill you.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So if you're playing hardcore, um, yours will not kill you, but your team members will kill you.
So play
Um,
solo if you're doing hardcore this season.
no, it's not exactly
mean,
play solo. It's I think you gotta, because they're supposed to have they look. I heard that they hot fixed it, but again, we don't have the show note. We don't have the notes. Uh, And I don't exactly 100% know because after they patched it, I never played in a group in the PTR. So I don't, or after I heard that they hot fixed it, I I know that they hot fixed that yours does not kill you. But people were still reporting that like me and Shazam are standing in the game together like we would be if we're playing together, and mine goes off and kills Shazam or something. So I've heard stories about that, but I mean, I'm sure they're gonna fix it. I
I can't
mean,
imagine they would want a buff to kill you or to kill
yeah,
your, the
and I
people you're
mean,
playing with.
I'm sure it was an oversight because they used like literally they used the exact same spell that Diablo uses. And these were all spells that were in the game. Although the meteor looked like a new art, I did like the meteor. Although again, I'm doing the first three set. I'm doing the first three and resetting. Now, when I get into in game and I'm smashing rifts and leveling, am I gonna yo-yo the buffs? I'm not exactly sure yet because I do like the meteors. I do like the raining corpses. I do like the other stuff that comes out. But and I love when the angels come because woo, the angels, boy, they will one shot a Rift Guardian like even really high, like a 120 Rift Guardian. They'll one shot him. And there's nothing in the game that can one shot a level 120 Rift Guardian. It usually takes a minute to kill a guy like that, but yeah, it was anyway, just if y'all guys are gonna play hardcore, just pay attention to your buff because I don't want someone to lose their character and go, oh, "What happened? I didn't know this could happen." So just pay attention. I'm gonna play softcore, so it's not that big of a deal. If I die, I'll laugh about it, and then I'll probably talk about it on the show. But whew, if I lost a character, especially one that was well geared, I would be probably mad about it. Well, anyway, anything else to add, Jen?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
What about Shazam?
Nope.
All right, I don't think because we're a little long because we did a long lore thing. I don't think I want to do other media. There's been a lot of notes, a lot of notes going on, all about D4, nothing about D3. I would suggest that the fans go to Diablo fans and check it out, or we'll probably talk about it on another show. But the show's a hair long right now, so I will wave goodbye to our lovely fans. I will say good night. I will let Jen wave goodbye and say good night,
Bye, people.
and I'll let Shazam wave goodbye, say good night, and close the show, please, sir.
One more thing to bring up too before the show.
Okay, there you go. Not a problem.
Quinn69 released a video on YouTube.
Very good, by the way.
On the 9th, which basically sums up like most of everybody's complaints about D4 so far. And you guys all should go take a look at it. I posted it in the Discord under Diablo Talk. But yeah, other than that, that's about the rest of what I had to say. Yeah, that's a pretty good video. It's 39 minutes long, and he goes over basically everything. So, anyway, closing the show now. You've been listening to episode 236 of the Shattered Soulstone, your Diablo community podcast. Missed an episode, you can find the show's blog and listen to the show archives at www.shatteredsoulstone.com. With your support, you can help the show grow. Become a Patreon today, patreon.com/soulstone. Come join us in-game or in-game community and clan, both named Shattered Soulstone. We're open to anyone who would like to join. You can also join us on Discord for the ultimate team and community-based experience. Find the Discord invitation link on our Twitter and Facebook page, as well as the Shattered Soulstone website. Show is powered by you, the listener. Send your contributions, thoughts, questions, and feedback to show@shatteredsoulstone.com. If you love Twitter, come join and tweet with us. You can find the show's Twitter at Shattered Stone, Deadgreed at Deadgreed1812, and me at Shazam081. You can find the show's Facebook page at facebook.com/Shattered Soulstone. We would like to extend a huge thank you to Medros of Dawnforge Productions for hosting our Loot Deviant show. You can find more shows from the Dawnforge at www.thedawnforge.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, from all of us here at the Shattered Soulstone, over 235 episodes for your listening pleasure.
Dawnforge.
Dawnforge.
Dawnforge. Woo!
Yeah.